Hello, everyone. Today we have got Ravi Kumar. Ravi Kumar is from India and he's a property investor who has been working with us for about over an year now. Now, while I was looking at his property portfolio very, very closely, I found a few things which are really, really impressive, what he has been doing. And also, there are certainly some challenges he must have been going through. So, in this recording, the podcast, wherein we are not going to make a lot of edits because we like to keep it raw and as natural as we can. So, we are going to have some Q&A with Ravi about his mindset, what he has gone through, and who is he and where is he going. So very much open-ended. If you enjoy properties, if you enjoy mindset, if you are in the progression phase, this is something you want to listen to. So here we go. Ravi, thank you for taking your time on a Friday while it is an official off in Victoria. You are in Sydney, right?
Hi, Rocky.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks.
Perfect. Ravi, do you want to talk a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're coming from, whereabouts are you living right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. So my name is Ravi. I live in Sydney. I have migrated from India to Australia back in 2019. Me and my wife.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
So
and
you
also
moved.
I have been working in IT industry for about 10 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you started working in 2015, is it?
Yep. Yeah,
How old
that's
are
right.
you?
I think 34. Yeah, 34.
You're 34 now. Okay, all right. And which kind of roles you are into in IT?
So currently I'm working as a cloud engineer. So yeah, I'm into IT industry and it falls under ICT category.
Okay, is that something you're enjoying or you're doing it just to make money?
Um, I would say at this stage maybe I'm getting a bit of bored. Maybe yeah, maybe because of the same routine that I've been doing for almost 10 years.
Okay, so how you keep up yourself exciting in life?
I think probably now I have a bit of a side hustle, which is a property. So where, I started investing into property for almost 2 years. So I think I spend most of my time, so just doing some research and just understanding the markets. So that's how I keep up, my free time.
Sure. So you came in the country in 2019. You started up doing properties in 2023. Between 29 to 23, about 4 years, what was happening there? Were you preparing yourself? What was your situation 2019 to 23? Why didn't you action on properties back then?
Sure. Okay. I think so before me and my wife moved to Australia, so I think we bought a small apartment and small land in India. So thinking that we'll move back after spending some time in Australia. So the reason that we moved to Australia was we got a work opportunity. So that's why we moved to Australia as a temporary residence. And then when things fell into the place in 2022, so we got a residency, and that's when we thought to buy a house in Australia. So until then, so we never had any plan to buy any piece of real estate in Australia. So
Yep.
and also maybe the other thing is, I guess when we were on temporary visa, I don't think most of the banks may not be able to lend the money. There are some special circumstances where some banks do lend money depending upon their financial situation and depending upon how much deposit that they're going to pay.
Okay. All right. So in 2022, when you got your permanent residency, at that point of time, you wanted to buy a house. Did you buy a house or why you did not buy a house if you did
Yeah, I
not buy
think,
a house?
yeah, sure. As soon as we got the permanent residency, so we immediately went to a lender. So we asked, so how much we can get a loan from the bank to buy a PPOR, which is a principal place of residence to live in Sydney. So so I think we got a serviceability of about like 1.5 mil back in 2022, so which was decent. And then we immediately started to look to buy a house in Sydney. So and the suburbs that we were looking, the typical price was around like 1 mil or 1.2 mil. So though we were able to get the loan from the bank, we started looking for a house actually for about 3 to 4 months. And until then, we didn't even know, so what exactly to look for. and whether to look for established suburb or to a brand new house or villa or townhouse. We didn't know anything about it, so we were just attending all the house inspections. But for some reason, we couldn't make any decision. So whether to buy a property, and then I started doing bit of education in property space, and also became part of some property groups as well on social media, where I was observing a lot of content, and understanding how it works in Australia and all. And then me and my wife, we had a discussion. So for example, if you're gonna buy a house in Sydney for, let's say, for 1 million, and then so the repayments are gonna be like around 6 grand to 7 grand.
Yeah.
So then we thought, if one of us lose the income, so then I don't think we can hold the property. So then that's when we decided to first invest, and then when we are comfortable with our financial situation, then we thought to buy a PPR.
Okay. So while you were looking around for properties between 1 to 1.2 million, you mentioned that you were not aware of should you be looking at a established or a new one. What was your social circle around you was navigating you somewhere? Were you getting influence, or were you just pretty much doing your own research?
Yeah, so the people I know, so they were advising me, so to buy in Sydney itself, so not to invest somewhere else. And yeah, I think so. So I was initially decided to buy in Sydney. So since we have spent almost like 3 to 4 months, so attending all the open home inspections. But again, so when we looked at the repayments, we were not comfortable, so with those numbers, and so that's when we decided, so not to buy a PPO in Sydney initially, for a price of around 1 million for 1 mil.
Got that. Perfect. So I think that was a decent decision back then, because if you would have bought a house for about 1.2 million, you wouldn't have been where you are right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the context sake, we are going to go deeper into Ravi's portfolio. He has by now bought about six investment properties.
Yep.
Six investment properties, and he has also purchased his principal place in Sydney, but it is not a traditional way of things. It is not a traditional way of doing things. He has done a slightly different style. All right, anyways, so let's move to the next phase. Next phase is we want to talk about your property journey so far. So having been sitting on the six properties, when did you start to have the mindset shift? A traditional way would have been buying a principal place. What changed in your life wherein you thought, all right, let me buy the properties, investment properties?
So I think the initial trigger was again, so since we were not comfortable to PPR, so the other option was to invest somewhere uh, for a price of 500,000. So instead of spending 1 million in Sydney, so we thought to invest somewhere else for a less price. So and then when I was looking at the markets back in I think early 2023, so even back in 2023, I was not really sure where exactly to invest, because all that I knew was the metro cities in Australia. So I didn't even have the guts to go into the regional, because I never heard the regional towns or the major what do you call satellite cities. So I never heard about those markets. And then when I was again uh, absorbing a lot of content from the social media, and also since I have done already bit of education in property space,
Yeah.
so I thought so the comfortable numbers would be like around 500,000, where I can invest, where I can get a good rent, which would cover most of my uh, which cover my EMI. So I thought those numbers were really comfortable to me. So then that's when I decided to go into the investment space.
Nice. And when you say education, education is a pretty big, even for me. Did you do any diploma, any certificates, or did you do any courses? And if you're open to share that, let's talk about that as well. How did that add value to you? So was that a certification, diploma, or anything? So what did you do exactly in education?
So I just did online, property course. I think
Okay.
so it was given by a person called PK. So
Okay.
I did his course.
Yeah.
So it was just, so it was just like an online course where, one can finish, within their comfortable time period. So I was able to just complete in few weeks. It
That's
was
right.
not like any diploma, so it's just like online course, where you can understand about the markets and the data, how to read the data, how to understand the data, yeah.
Nice. For the context sake, whosoever is listening, I've done PK's course as well, and that is really fantastic. And coming new to the country, I had absolutely no idea. Not that I'm endorsing his course here, but which is genuinely a feedback that yes, it is absolutely great that you get some stepping stones there. So let me share my screen with you and here and for the audience as well. uh, to discuss about your first purchase. So the first purchase you had bought was this one, is it in Mount Louisa?
Actually, Seven Hill Court only.
Okay, so it only was
Yeah,
purchase. And when
I
was that?
mean,
June 23.
yeah, actually, the funny thing is, so the Seven Hill Court only and the 17 St. Ives Street. So I think these two properties I got at the same time. So yeah, I would say I got at the same time.
So June 2nd and 30th of June.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so using that education, you reached out to all of these locations, even without visiting all of these properties or states yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah, so that's correct. So I mean, so till date, I have never seen these properties physically myself, and I have never traveled to Perth or even Townsville till now.
Okay, and what are the values of these properties right now? The 385, how much it would be in market value right now?
I think the current market value is around 600K.
Market value is 600K. And the other one, Seven Hill,
I think it's around 750.
it's around 750K.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one has gone up by about 200K, but this one has gone more up. Why could that be? Like, this was a good location, Perth, and this was in Townsville. Why do you think they like this has increased less versus this one has increased more from your experience of portfolio? Do you think
I think
the entry
yes.
level properties are moving faster?
I think a couple of reasons, so that the Townsville one. So since I mean, after I did my research, I can say that so the Townsville market didn't really move up. I think for about 10 years, starting from 2010 to 2020, I would say. So it didn't really do so anything. So that's why so the price was like quite low compared to the other markets.
Okay. So that was your rationale back then. All right, perfect. So when you bought all of these properties, let's go back to our conversation. Give me one second. We go stop sharing. So when you were buying all of these properties in six and seven, what sort of trade-offs you have done in your life? What did you like did you stop going to holidays? Did you stop buying expensive cars, expensive so because when we come to Australia, we start making money, and then the first thing you want to do is you want to buy the iPhones, you want to buy the fancy cars, you want to put your pictures on the Instagram and collect likes and comments. What sort of trade-offs did you do?
Um, okay, so the trade-offs would be, I think, again, so since we moved to Australia in late 2019, and after a couple of months, so the COVID hit, and we couldn't do much, for about 3 years because of the lockdowns and because of the interstate lockdowns as well. So we couldn't do much, and even we couldn't travel to overseas. So I think so, in one way or other way, I think we were able to save a bit of money, and that really helped us for the initial deposit for the first and second property, I would say. So the other trade-offs would be, I think after this COVID, so I purchased a motorbike, and when I was able to sign the contract for the second property, so I was bit of shortfall of funds, so to pay towards the deposit. Then that's when I just had to sell that motorbike. I think apart from it, I don't think so. I did any major trade-offs.
Okay. So recap, 2019 you came in 2019, then COVID started in 2020. You were automatically in that zone wherein you're not spending money, and while you were getting out of that zone, you were educating yourself by doing the courses, and you learned, and then you started investing into properties. Now, what is the typical challenge of holding six, seven properties? Like if someone is thinking and listening to you right now, they must be thinking at the back of their head, including me, like what sort of compromises or challenges you must be going. So, for example, six properties, six property managers giving you a call, hey, tenants stopped paying the rent, or some issues have come up. So, how do you overcome all of those challenges?
So I think so touch wood, so till now I didn't really have a problem with most of the tenants that that were living in these properties. I think I think so. The main thing is, so once we get a good property manager, and when you hire a good property manager, so most likely you end up, getting good tenants as well, and also having, some sort of backup, in terms of getting some good insurance for the properties, so I think that would really help you, yeah, in case of any issues where tenants couldn't pay up their rent, or if they damage the property, so this sort of like, the risk mitigation plans would really help.
All right. So the fact is that so far you have not had any challenges on any of these properties. That's good. And but if something happens, how are you covered? Do you have any insurances, and what sort of insurances you have on you?
Yeah, I think for all the properties that I have purchased so far, so all the properties were covered by insurance. So we also have option to go with tenant protection as well. So where, if some of the tenants can't make the rents, so the insurance guys would cover up for a certain period of time. And maybe the second thing is, it's always good to have some sort of buffers in place, because you never know, so if there is any problem with the property, so if there are like minimal expenses, that should be okay. But if there are like any major expenses, to repair a property, then I think it's always good to have some buffers in place.
So, on your personal experience, what sort of buffer you would advise someone who is looking to have 5 to 6 properties in their portfolio? So, how much buffer they should keep at any point of time?
Um, okay, so I think maybe at least for each property, at least to have some 5 grand, I think
Okay.
should be good,
So 5 multiplied by 6 at about any point of time, or 30K.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And let's go on to your portfolio once again, and let's dig down into some numbers as well. So let's go one by one, if you're okay with that,
Sure.
and we talk about each of the properties right now. So you bought it for 385, and right now the value of this property you said is around 600, is it?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and the value of this property would be how much? 700?
750K.
750K. And the value of this property would be in one bro?
I think around 650.
650K.
Yep.
Okay, so Perth has gone, okay, all right, decent. And this property you had bought for 480K and sold for 695. The question is, why did you sell this?
Okay, so I think one of the main reason is, so I feel the market has grown significantly high in the last 2 months, and
Last,
where, sorry.
last 2 months or 2 years, you
So
mean?
sorry, yeah, last two
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
So I think since we were able to purchase this property at a good entry point, so and now the market has shifted a lot. So I thought probably I can just sell this property with a good profit, and then go with a different strategy where I have some other plans to do, so after selling this property. So that was my initial plan. And also I did bit of a research as well in this Makai market, particularly in the suburb called Rural View, where this property is located in.
yeah.
I think so. I see that, there are like new house and land packages and new bills, so they are slowly coming up, and most of the properties were selling around like 750 grand. So I thought, I thought, even if I'm going to hold this property, let's say for a year or two, so most likely I might get, maybe I might go for 750K, so max. So I thought, so no point of holding for longer. So then I thought to sell this property.
Sure. All right. So what you're saying is a couple of things here, Ravi, and for the audience as well. So you're saying your research mentioned that there is some new supply coming in, and you're also thinking that even if you're going to hold it for, let's say, next 12 to 18 months, it will just touch 750 itself. That is why you decided to form 480 to sell it at 695, and 215K is the growth which you have got. If you don't mind, this did you buy this property with your cash or equity?
No, actually, I pulled equity from the 17 St. Ives Street property. So I think I paid 12% deposit towards this property. So yeah,
Okay.
so I pulled
So
the equity from the property.
so you use the equity. Technically, you're saying that you bought this property with zero of your own
That's right.
money.
Yeah,
Zero.
that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the 13 months you did hold this property, how much you would have paid out of your pocket?
I think okay. So this property. So I was just paying only interest only. So towards the repayments, and
Yeah.
the rent was $2,400, and the repayments were 2000 2,400 some change. Okay. So I think technically speaking, I didn't really spend much on this property except for the council rates and all. So yeah, I think so. So the holding costs were significantly lower. Okay. So
So what would have been a holding cost for this 13 months?
okay. So if I just exclude the council rates, maybe the holding cost would be, say, including the maintenance that I've seen on this property,
Yeah.
I would say maybe two to three grand, I would say. Yeah.
$3,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So $3,000.
So you're saying that you paid $3,000 as a holding cost to walk out with a growth of $215,000. Now, you would have done the mathematics using equity percentages and everything else. How much is it actually you made your net profit? How much cash you made? Cash,
I think it should be coming around like 150K, 150K.
150K cash. Okay, so what did you do with this cash? You could have kept this property for 10 years, buy and hold strategy. What did you do with this cash, 150K?
So I think okay, so far I haven't done anything, but I do have plan, so to buy maybe one or two investment properties where there is a potential, so to do some sort of flipping or to just renovate and just, so uplift the equity of the property. So that's a plan that I have, and so I have planned to use this cash, for that purpose.
Okay. Now you are going to be using this money to be able to buy two more properties. And
Yeah.
rest of the properties are you holding them up or are you going to do the same stuff there as well?
I think
Sorry to
currently,
put you on a spotlight because you
no, no,
might
that's
not
fine.
even know the best
Yeah.
answer.
Okay. So maybe at this stage, maybe I'll still hold for at least 1 year for sure, and then see how the market moves, and then maybe I'll take a decision maybe after a year or so. Yeah. I think
Okay.
at this stage I'm gonna hold for at least for 1 year.
Okay. You are going to hold. Perfect. 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 So a recap here that you spent absolutely no money out of your pocket to buy this next property. That is the power of equity if anyone is listening. So he bought this one, two, three. The first property he would have used his own savings. May I ask you how much you had used your own money to buy this first one? Or the
Okay.
first one was here, this one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
how much you used to buy Seven Hill Court Thornley? Your cash.
I think around $75,000. Yeah. So that was my initial deposit towards this property, around 75K.
So 75K was your starting point. And
Yeah.
the next one also you have added some cash from your pocket, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And what was that for $385,000?
It was around $52,000.
Around 52K. So if I club all of them together, around 140K is what you use your cash
That's right.
for.
Yeah.
So thereafter, have you used any of your cash or this money has been rolling around?
Uh, I think it has been rolling around. I think so. Okay, so the last one, which is 1/15.
Yeah.
So I bought this property under Super. So
Okay.
under
That's your
Super
SMSF.
SMSF. I think so. Even for this property, so though the deposit was not sufficient to buy this property, so I had to contribute some of the amount towards my Super. So yeah. So
Perfect. So you use some cash here as
Yeah,
well.
some cash. Yeah, that's right.
But to be able to buy the four properties, all you needed in the beginning was $140,000 to start with two properties, pull out the equity and move to the third and the fourth.
Yeah, and just to add, and even for my principal place of residence, I didn't even pay any money from my pocket, so I had to pull the equity again from these properties.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm going to take this off back and let's talk about your principal place. So you're saying that now you've bought your principal place, which is in Sydney, is it?
Yes, that's right.
And how much you bought it for?
For 740K.
740K. All right. And in Sydney, 740K, is that a unit?
Yeah, it's a two-bed villa. Yeah, it's a villa.
It's a villa. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And is it close by to where you want it to be?
Yeah. Because so I bought in a suburb called Giravan. So it's one of the best pockets, so where one can purchase. So it has got like very good schools and good parks and good community as well.
Perfect. So, if you're listening to all of this, Ravi started with 140K, his own saved up money or cash, and then he bought one and two, which was in Mount Louisa and Thornley, Western Australia. Then these properties went up in value, and then using the equity, he bought his third property, which was in Wonbro, fourth property in Rural View, which he has sold. Now, then he has bought his principal place for 740K with no money down. And this carums down also, he was able to collect some money in his super, and he tried doing all of that as well. So what's next from here? Next is going to be you have already mentioned that you're looking at buying two more properties. So while you're doing all of this, buying multiple properties, what is your agenda in the end? You're 34 right now. Why are you doing all of this?
So I think maybe okay again. So I think since from my investment journey from 2023 onwards, I can see how the market has shifted in the last 2.5 years, I would say. So the market has shifted a lot. Okay, so I think from this I can tell that if I'm just sitting on the sidelines and not doing anything, so obviously the market will not wait for me. So I thought to scale up as soon as possible. So yeah, so that's one thing. Second, so the main agenda would be so just for some passive income and also to have some freedom as well in life, so to do whatever I wish to do.
Okay, so you mentioned about passive income, and everybody, including me, is chasing that. How do you get the passive income? Because right now you have got a loan here, loan here, loan here, and a loan here as well. Like, what is that you're going to do next? And you're 34 right now. When are you targeting to start generating some passive income? And what could be a plan? You may do it or you may not do it, but what is that you're thinking right now?
Yeah, I think from what I keep hearing from most of the good sources, I think people say that at least hold the property for 10 years, and then the property doubles, and then you sell half of your portfolio and pay the debt towards the other half of the portfolio. So that would give the passive income. But maybe so I'm thinking in this direction as well, where I need to bring down my LVR significantly lower. So I thought, so going forward, I thought to buy properties which requires some renovation or requires a flipping. So so probably, so I just buy a property which requires flipping or renovation, and then sell the property and take the profit and pay the debt towards this portfolio.
Okay, so you will now be working on your bringing down loan to value ratio.
Yeah, that's right.
So if anyone listening to this, how would you explain what is a loan to value ratio?
Okay, so in a simple terms, okay, so let's say a property cost like 1 million. So that's like a 100% LVR. But we typically pay 10% or 12% deposit, so towards the
Yep.
purchase of the property. So which means that so 88% of the loan is still with the bank. So we just paid only 12% deposit or 10% deposit.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that to buy a 1 million property, you have just paid 10%,
Yeah.
which means your loan is going to be 900K,
Okay.
And you
which
have
is
paid,
90% LV. Yeah,
yeah, and you have paid about 100K out of your cash or savings or whatever it is, or equity. So you would call this 90% LVR, is it?
that's right. Yeah.
Loan to value ratio. So if you're listening to all of this and if you're finding it to be confused, it is as simple as that. And that Ravi or anyone who owns this property, they need to make this number zero to make sure that they fully own this property, and then they start earning the rent in their pocket. So that is what we call loan to value ratio. If it is too technical, you can Google and use ChatGPT as well. All righty, perfect. So last question before I let you go is, why are you doing all of this? Why?
I think the main reason would be again, as I mentioned some time back, mainly for passive income, and also to have freedom in life and do whatever I wish to do, and also have a choice as well. Yeah,
Choices.
yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. So, Ravi, thank you for your time. I think you have been really courageous to share your journey, open up your entire portfolio in front of the public. And the agenda of this podcast was not just to get likes and comments. It is about sharing openly about how Ravi started up his journey with about $140,000 and then scale up, and he is being unstoppable right now. He'll keep on buying more properties as well. That's how the journey looks like. So if you have been sitting on the fence and you have been thinking, hey, they should I do or not, this guy has done it in front of you. He has not made money in all the properties, and probably some properties will make more money, some properties will make less. The whole point is that he is moving along with his wife Divya, who is not part of this call, but we have had conversations in the past. They are a power couple taking actions and moving forward. So if you are someone sitting on the fence, Ravi could be the right guy to speak with sometime. In future, I'll be tagging up him in the post as well. So if there is an opportunity, you can just speak with him. Ravi, before we let you go, anything last you want to say to anyone who is just in the thinking mode?
So maybe I would say that, so I think if one has a deposit to purchase a property, it's always good time to buy the property. So we don't need to wait and sit on the sidelines, thinking whether the interest rates would go down, and I would say maybe stop listening to the media news, because once you heard from the media news, so the market would have significantly grown, or it's already too hot. And maybe so a couple of things would be, I mean, I personally don't like to buy a house and land packages. It's quite risky. So that's one thing. And always try to get a piece of land, so, and not invest in apartments, I would say, where the startup fees or the body corporate fees is significantly higher.
All right, perfect. So thank you for sharing your tips, Ravi. Take care of yourself, and I'll be speaking with you soon on your next one.
Thanks, Rocky.